the preliminary examination of the situation in the Philippines will analyze crimes allegedly committed in this state party, it has been alleged that since July 2016, thousands of persons have been killed for reasons related to their alleged involvement in illegal drug use or dealing.
Defiant in the face of an international criminal court investigation, President Rodrigo Duterte says he will not stop his war against illegal drugs. Duterte faces an official complaint against him and 11 senior officials of mass murder. But in a speech on Monday night, he said he was willing to be jailed, even executed. Well, the director of President Duterte's legal team joins me now. Maricel Seno, thanks for being here. Good to talk to you. You're the right person to talk to right now. The ICC is looking into your president. Are you worried?
No, we are confident that the preliminary examination will reveal that there are no crimes against humanity, as well as that the jurisdiction should actually rest with the Philippine courts and not with the ICC.
Right. Well, I mean, you've signed up to the Rome Statute, so you've agreed to play by those rules. And when you have a complaint, yes, they have to look into it. So do you accept that they have a right to look into it, that they're objective and impartial, and that whatever they come out with will be fair?
Of course, we signed up to the Rome Statute, and we are confident that during the preliminary examination, which I might add is not yet an investigation, it's actually the phase where they will determine if there is reasonable basis to launch an investigation. And we're confident that during the preliminary examination, it will show that the jurisdiction that the court will not have jurisdiction, and that the Philippines should actually be looking into these things, and are in fact actually there are some ongoing investigations in the Philippines regarding the alleged killings. And so therefore the court, as a court of last resort, should not actually acquire jurisdiction over it, and there should be no preliminary investigation.
When people look at the track record of the president since he came to power, undoubtedly a very, very popular man with a popular mandate to clean up the Philippines. But Human Rights Watch says 12,000 people have been killed. And we look at his own words when he vowed to pardon officers convicted of drug killings, when he himself gives the impression that it's a shoot first, ask questions later situation. Would you accept that there's enough to work with there for international institutions to want to look into this?
Well, this assessment is up to the ICC prosecutor. The president firmly believes that the war on drugs is a valid exercise of our sovereign powers, and that there are no crimes against humanity with respect to the incidents that have happened. So we leave it up to the ICC prosecutor, but we will be fully participating, and the president actually welcomes the opportunity to be heard on this because he's sick and tired of being accused of crimes against humanity. And so we are going to cooperate with the ICC, and we hope that by signing and ratifying the statute that we will be given an opportunity to be able to present our case.
Yeah, when he said on Monday night, he said he could not be prosecuted for orchestrating extrajudicial killings attributed to the drug war, saying the crime doesn't exist in the country's penal laws. You're saying you want him, if any legal jurisdiction exists, it should be within the Philippines, but he's saying it's not in our laws, and he says there is no, I can't say this word on TV, effing provision on extrajudicial killing. It is not defined anywhere. So you're saying if anybody's going to look into it, it should be in the Filipino legal system, and the president's saying, well, in our legal system, there's no such thing as extrajudicial killing, so nobody has a case. Would you accept that this is why people are worried?
Well, let me clarify. Extrajudicial killings by itself can constitute murder under our legal system, and can also constitute crimes against humanity under our legal system. We actually have a law which actually predates our ratifying the ICC statute, which is almost completely identical to the Rome Statute. So if ever there is to be an indictment, that it should be under those laws.
So he was wrong.
No, extrajudicial killings per se, this basically only exists in our administrative laws. They do not exist under our criminal law. But the killings can constitute murder, or they can constitute crimes against humanity. I think that may have been the misunderstanding.
Okay. As somebody involved in the law, do you accept as a principle that you could commit unspeakable crimes in the name of a legitimate cause? Because earlier on you said, listen, you know, even the ICC supports the fact that there's a war on drugs. Everybody wants the war on drugs. Everybody wants people not to be drug addicts. They don't want gangs to kill innocent people and so on. That's fair enough. That's righteous. But do you accept as a legal principle that just because that might be a righteous goal, it doesn't preclude the fact that the Filipino authorities could be doing terrible things to get to that end goal?
Okay, so the acts have to be judged as they are. So we believe that the acts are legal. But if the acts constitute as illegal acts, then they can be crimes. But again, these assessments are all up to the ICC prosecutor at this point in the preliminary examination.
Can we park off the ICC for a second? Because I feel it would be remiss of me not to talk about something that the president said on February 7th, addressing former rebels in Malacanang. My apologies if my pronunciation is not right. And I'm going to quote him now.
It's correct.
He said, they will say, okay, how many people are dead? 3, what? 3, son of a bitch, don't lose. Are there any women holding guns? Sir, she's a fighter, an Amazon. Shoot them in the vagina. Tell the soldiers, there's a new order coming from the mayor. We won't kill you. We will just shoot your vagina so that if there are no vagina, it would be useless. This, from GMA, I think I've got an accurate translation there. Is that acceptable? Does that create the type of atmosphere you want to defend? Is this the type of thing you want to defend when it comes to your president and the type of approach he takes to people he deems worthy of killing?
With respect to the New People's Army and the CPP-NPA, at this point, we consider them enemy combatants. So under international humanitarian law, the country, the state, if it is at war with an organized armed group, has the right to kill enemy combatants. So whatever it is that whatever words the president may have used, the act of the killing of combatants, may they be male or female, is legal under international humanitarian law.
So just to be absolutely clear, because they are enemy combatants, shooting them in the vagina is legal and justified?
Shooting them anywhere is legal and justified.
Okay. And would you accept that from the outside looking in, some people might be a little bit nervous about President Duterte when they hear him say things like this?
Perhaps, but as you very well mentioned, the president is a very popular president. And it seems that all of his policies, especially with respect to the national security of the country, is resonating to the Filipino people.
Okay.
So as far as he is concerned, that is what is important.
Okay. Human Rights Watch says those comments encourage state forces to commit sexual violence during armed conflict, which is a violation of international humanitarian law. I'm presuming you don't see it as committing sexual violence.
No, that might be too far off. The statement concerned shooting, not committing sexual violence or committing acts of sexual violence.
Do you think he misspoke? Do you think he could have chosen better words?
That is not. I can't speak for the president in this case. Yeah, so these are his words, and he should be judged for them if he needs to be judged.
Maricel Seno, I hope you'll come back onto the program because I think this was an important conversation to have. I thank you very much for joining us here on the Newsmakers.